Hello, my dear students. How are you all? Let's add value to your knowledge account today. I'm Dr. Bharati Sunil. Welcome to our Finance and Accounting Academy channel. We are in ratio analysis series. This is our seventh video. In this ratio analysis series, till now I have covered ratio analysis, meaning, advantages, limitations, classification, liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, turnover ratios, general profitability ratios. I've explained all these ratios with formulas and we have done problems in those ratios. Now in today's class, we are going to cover the next topic in profitability ratios, that is what? Overall profitability ratios. In this, we are covering 10 overall profitability ratios. I will explain all those 10. Very easy to understand, because if you remember sometimes what I have used in our previous videos, like capital employed, net worth, equity shareholders funds, remember those terms, then it will be very easy for you to understand this topic. So please go through all those videos once and revise those concepts, so you'll be having perfect understanding of ratio analysis topic. So the first formula is return on capital employed ratio. Is also called return on investments ratio. So what is the meaning of capital employed? So whatever the amounts we are investing in the business in the form of shareholders funds and long term investments, so all those will be covered under capital employed. I have explained you in the previous video about balance sheet items. So I have showed there, this is our balance sheet. So here we are having shareholders funds. Next we are having long-term liabilities. Here we are having current liabilities. Here we are having fixed assets and current assets. So shareholders funds means equity shareholders funds and preference shareholders funds, reserves and surplus, and a P&L account balance. So all those will come under shareholders funds. And long-term liabilities means long-term loans and debentures. So we are covering these two under capital employed. So this capital employed includes equity share capital, preference share capital, reserves and surplus, P&L account balance, long-term debts, and uh, if you are having any fictitious assets, we have to deduct that. From this, if there are any fictitious assets, we will deduct from this capital employed. So shareholders funds plus long-term liabilities minus fictitious assets. So that is called what? Capital employed. So what's the ratio here? Profit before tax and interest. So this is also called PBIT divided by capital employed into 100. So why we are writing 100 here? Because we want to know the percentage of our return on capital employed. Means if you are investing this much of capital in our business, then what is the return we want to know as investor. So the formula is PBIT by capital employed into 100. So coming to the second one, return on net worth ratio. So what is net worth? Net worth means, here I have told you know what are capital employed items: equity share capital, preference share capital, reserves and surplus, P&L account balance, right? Plus long term debts. Here we should not take long term debts because we are considering only net worth. So that is why we should not take long-term debts. Means capital employed minus debts. Debts means what here? Long-term debts means long-term loans and debentures. So if you deduct debts from capital employed, then what you will get, that is called net worth. So what's the formula? Profit after tax by net worth. I will explain you what is PBIT, what is PAT. So PBIT means profit before interest and tax, right? So from this, if you deduct interest, it will become PBT, right? Means profit before tax. So from this, if you deduct tax, then what you will get? You will get PAT, means profit after tax, right? So from this PAT, we'll deduct preference dividend. Why? Because we will pay preference dividend only on profit after tax, means after distributing interest to the debenture holders and after paying tax, whatever the amount that will be remaining with us, on that we'll pay preference dividend. So that is why PAT minus preference dividend. So the amount what is remaining with us is called earnings available to equity shareholders. So you please understand this. Earnings available to equity shareholders means equity shareholders can get dividends only from this earnings available to equity shareholders. These are the earnings of equity shareholders. But if still the company wants to keep any amount as retained earnings, then what they can do, they can deduct some amount as retained earnings, and whatever is remaining, that they will distribute as dividend. So the remaining amount will be distributed as dividend to whom? Dividend to equity shareholders. Clear? So PBIT minus interest is PBT, PBT minus tax is PAT. From PAT will distribute preference dividend. So the amount that will be remaining with us is earnings available to equity shareholders. So from this, if the company wants to retain any amount as their reserves, then they can deduct that, and that remaining amount they will pay to the equity shareholders. So this is about PBIT, PAT and all. Now, if you see this formula, return on equity capital, PAT minus preference dividend. See, we'll take this amount, from that we'll deduct preference dividend, divided by equity shareholders funds. So in the first formula we have considered profit before interest and tax, means this amount we have considered, and in the second formula we have considered profit after tax. So this is profit after tax. Now coming to the third formula, return on equity capital. Here we are considering only equity shareholders funds, means we are not taking into consideration preference shareholders funds and debenture holders funds. So if you check this, for equity shareholders funds, what you will consider? Equity share capital. We will not consider preference share capital. We will consider reserves and surplus, P&L account balance, and here long term debts also will not consider, but will deduct what? Fictitious assets. So what is equity shareholders funds? Equity share capital plus reserves and surplus plus P&L account balance minus fictitious assets. Whatever the equity shareholders are investing in the business, on that what is their return, equity shareholders can take through this formula. Next, return on assets ratio. So why you prepare return on assets ratio? Because we want to know what is the profit that we have earned by using these assets in the business. So here what assets we'll take? We'll take total assets. Total assets means we are not including fictitious assets. We are considering only fixed assets and current assets. So profit after tax divided by total assets means here we are taking this amount only, profit after tax. Next, earnings per share means when equity shareholders have invested money in the business, right? So they want to know what is their earnings on their investment. Here they want to measure per share how much they are earning. So that is why we prepare this ratio. So earnings per share, we call it as EPS. So what's the formula for that? PAT means profit after tax minus preference dividend, means we consider this amount. What is the amount? Earnings available to equity shareholders, right? We'll take this amount. So this is also called what? EAES, right? Divided by number of equity shares. Say for example, earnings available to equity shareholders is rupees 1 lakh and there are 100 shares. So on each share, how much shareholders will get? They will get 1000 rupees. 1 lakh rupees divided by 100 shares means on each share how much they can earn? 1000 rupees. So this is about EPS. Now coming to the next one, dividend per share means dividend on equity share capital. So how much dividend they are paying now? Because whatever the earnings that are available, they will not distribute the entire amount. How I have showed in this, earnings available to equity shareholders minus retained earnings, whatever is remaining, that will be given as dividend. So dividend per share, how much they will get? Dividend on equity share capital divided by number of equity shares. So if the company is distributing 50,000 rupees as dividend and there are 1,000 shareholders, so each shareholder will get how much? 50 rupees. So like that, dividend per share will be calculating. Next, dividend payout ratio. So here what you will see, out of the EPS amount, how much they are giving as dividend. Means if the EPS amount is 20 rupees, but the company is paying only 10 rupees as dividend. So that we can know by seeing dividend payout ratio. Means out of EPS amount, how much they are paying as dividend. Right? Next, price earning ratio. So market price of equity share divided by EPS. So how you will get market price of equity share means at what price the share is quoted in the market. So that is called market price of share divided by EPS. So if you apply this formula, what you will get? Price earning ratio. Next, coming to the ninth one, earnings yield ratio. How you will get earnings yield ratio? See here, what's the formula for price earnings ratio? MPS by EPS, right? So for earnings yield ratio, just reverse this. Means EPS by MPS. So here you can understand what is their earnings yield on that particular share. This formula we can also show as 1 by PE ratio. We can either, based on the available data, we can use either 1 by PE ratio or EPS by MPS. Now coming to the 10th ratio. What's the 10th ratio? Dividend yield ratio. So how we have calculated DPS by EPS, dividend payout ratio, in the same way we'll also calculate dividend yield ratio. In this dividend yield ratio, we will see what is our market price of the share and what is our dividend on that particular share. So this is our 10th ratio. Now we'll come to the 11th formula, book value of the share. Equity shareholders funds divided by number of equity shares. So what is that amount we have taken under return on equity capital, that is equity shareholders funds amount means we'll take equity share capital plus reserves and surplus plus P&L account balance minus fictitious assets. So that we will take as numerator and we will divide that with number of equity shares. So if the number of equity shares are 1000, then we'll write as denominator 1000 shares. So this is about book value of the share. So we'll, by calculating this formula, we can know what is the book value of our share. So these are the formulas for overall profitability ratios. Now we'll solve this problem using these ratios. For all the formulas, we have to multiply with 100, and here also we have to multiply with 100. Here also multiply with 100, and here also multiply with 100. So on why we are multiplying with 100? Because we want to know what is our return on capital employed percentage, when we want to know what is our return on net worth percentage, and what is our return on equity percentage, and what is our return on assets percentage. So this is the short form how you can write. This is ROCE, this is RONW, RONW, this is ROE, and this is ROA. So in short form, you can understand like this. Now we'll do this problem. So what information is given? Calculate overall profitability ratios using below data. So PAT is 2 lakhs, means our net profit after tax is 2 lakhs. Next, P&L account balance 1 lakh. Next, 10% preference share capital 4 lakhs. See, if 10% is given, means it is preference dividend on 4 lakhs rupees. 10% on 4 lakhs means how much you will get? 40,000. So that is our preference dividend. Next, reserves and surplus 3 lakhs, debentures 5 lakhs, and total assets 30 lakhs. interest on debentures 50,000, equity dividend 1,20,000, equity capital 1 lakh shares. How many shares are there? There are 1 lakh shares, and each share is rupees 10 each. So equity capital is 1 lakh shares into 10 rupees each, means it is 10 lakhs rupees. So our equity share capital is 10 lakhs rupees. And what is the market price of share? Rupees 25. So this is our information what is given in the problem. So using this information, we will calculate all these formulas. So first what we'll do, we'll calculate ROCE. ROCE means what? Return on capital employed ratio we'll do, right? So PBIT means here, so this is profit after tax. So tax amount is not given. So what we'll do, we will take this PAT and we will add interest to that. What is our interest on debentures? 50,000. So interest on debentures, right? So what is the PAT amount? 2 lakhs less our interest amount is 50,000, right? Divided by capital employed. Capital employed means what amounts we'll take? We'll take equity share capital. See, what is our equity share capital amount? Equity 10 lakhs plus preference, how much? 4 lakhs plus reserves and surplus, right? So reserves and surplus is given in our problem. So take that amount, how much? 3 lakhs. Next, P and L account balance. So P and L balance is how much is given? 1 lakh, right? Plus debentures minus fictitious assets. So debentures amount is how much? 5 lakhs minus any fictitious assets are there? No. So it is 0. So now calculate 10 lakhs plus 4 lakhs, 14 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 17 lakhs, 18 lakhs plus 5 lakhs, 23 lakhs. Right. So now we'll use this formula. ROCE is equal to PBIT. How much you got here? 2 lakhs 50,000. Right. So 2 lakhs 50,000 divided by 23 lakhs into 100. We'll get 10.87 percentage. So what is this? This is our return on capital employed. Now we'll do the second formula, return on net worth ratio. Return on net worth is equal to PAT by net worth. Means what? Capital employed minus debentures. Right. So PAT amount is given. We can take directly here 2 lakhs divided by our capital employed, what we have calculated in the previous formula, 23 lakhs minus what is the debentures amount? We have deduct that, no? So 5 lakhs. So how much you will get? 2 lakhs divided by 18 lakhs into 100. So how much you will get? 11.11 percentage. Now we'll go to the third formula. What is the third formula? Return on equity capital. Remember, here we are taking only which funds? Equity shareholders funds. So what's the formula? PAT. Because PAT is already given, we can take directly here PAT 2 lakhs PAT minus preference dividend. So how much is the preference dividend amount? 10% on 4 lakhs. So how much you will get? 40,000. So minus 40,000 divided by equity shareholders funds. Means we have calculated capital employed. No, how much capital employed we got? 23 lakhs. Okay, what we will do? From capital employed, you deduct debentures and also you deduct preference share capital. So 23 lakhs minus debentures amount is how much? 5 lakhs. And our preference share capital is how much? 4 lakhs. Right? So how much you will get? 23 lakhs minus 9 lakhs means you will get 14 lakhs. So here I am writing that amount 1,60,000 divided by 14 lakhs into 100. It's 11.43 percentage. So what we have calculated here? Return on equity capital. So what we have taken? PAT minus preference dividend divided by equity shareholders funds. So this is our return on equity share capital. So this is what formula? ROE. Take screenshot. Now coming to the fourth one, return on assets ratio. So return on assets means what? ROA. What's the formula? PAT by total assets. So PAT by total assets into 100. So what is the PAT value? 2 lakhs divided by our total assets value is how much? 30 lakhs into 100. So it is 6.67 percentage. ROE is clear. Next we will go to earnings per share. So we will calculate fifth one. Earnings per share is equal to PAT minus preference dividend. Okay. So what is our PAT value? 2 lakhs minus our preference dividend amount is how much? 10% on 4 lakhs. So it is 40,000 divided by number of equity shares. So how many shares are there? 1 lakh shares, rupees 10 each. So it is how much? Rupees 10 lakhs. So we will take number of shares here, 1 lakh shares. So this is 1,60,000. How you got this? 2 lakhs minus 40,000 divided by 1 lakh shares. So you will get 1 rupee 60 paisa. Means what is our earnings for each share? It is 1 rupee 60 paisa. Next we will calculate dividend per share. Means how much dividend they can give. DPS is equal to dividend on equity share capital. How much of dividend they have declared? 1,20,000 rupees. So take this amount. 1,20,000 is our equity dividend divided by number of equity shares. So number of equity shares are how many? 1 lakh shares. So for each share, how much of dividend we can get? 1 rupee 20 paisa. So this is what? This is DPS. This is our EPS. Now we'll come to seventh one. What is seventh one? Dividend payout ratio. So dividend payout ratio is how much? Is so dividend payout ratio formula is what? DPS by EPS. So here already we have calculated DPS, right? So we'll take DPS 1 rupee 20 paisa divided by EPS. EPS is how much? 1 rupee 60 paisa. So how much you will get? So you got 75%. Because it is 0.75, that is why I have written as 75%. Earnings per share is 1 rupee 60 paisa. So out of that 1 rupee 60 paisa, how much you have received as dividend? 1 rupee 20 paisa. Means on your earnings per share, the company is paying you 75% dividend. So that is what dividend payout ratio. Means the other 25% they are keeping as retained earnings. Why the company keeps retained earnings? Because the company wants to have any expansion in the future, any diversification in the future. See, for every expansion, diversification, or any development or modernization, they can't go for bank loans, right? So what they will do, whatever the reserves they're keeping aside as retained earnings or plowing back of profits, right? They will use that reserves and they will develop the business. So here the company is safe because the company need not borrow every time from outsiders. Here I have explained return on assets, earnings per share, dividend per share. Next, dividend payout ratio. Another 4 ratios are remaining. So our 8th ratio is price earning ratio. This we will write like this. So what's the formula for price earning ratio? Market price of equity share divided by EPS. So what's the market price of equity share? Here it is given. Market price of share is rupees 25 divided by EPS. What is our EPS amount? 1 rupee 60 paisa. So what is our PE ratio? It is 15.63 times. Means what is the value of our market share? It is 15.63 times of our EPS. Now coming to the ninth one. What's our ninth ratio? Earnings yield ratio. This is very simple. If you calculate price earnings ratio, then earnings yield ratio is very simple. So how you will do that? Just reverse that formula. So here you have taken MPS by EPS, no? Just reverse the formula. Here you will take EPS by MPS. So what is our EPS value? 1 rupee 60 paisa. And what is our MPS? Rupees 25, right? So here 1 rupee 60 paisa divided by 25 into 100. So just to see here, here we have taken MPS by EPS. Here in this formula, EPS by MPS into 100. So here we will get percentage, right? We will see what is the percentage of our EPS in our market price of the share. Our earnings yield ratio is 6.4 percentage. 10th one is dividend yield ratio. Dividend yield ratio. So that I have written as DYR. So what's the formula? DPS by MPS. So what is our DPS? 1 rupee 20 paisa. This is our DPS. 1 rupee 20 paisa divided by what is our market value of the share? 25 into 100. So it is how much? 4.8 percentage. So this earnings yield ratio will show the relation between earnings per share and market price of the share. And dividend yield ratio will show the relationship between dividends per share and the market price of the share. Means how much they can earn on their investment without seeing the appreciation value. This shows how much of return we can earn on this investment without accounting any capital appreciation on this. So that is about dividend yield ratio. Next, coming to the last ratio, that is book value of the share. So this book value per share shows the fraction of net worth attributed to each equity share. So how we'll calculate that? Equity shareholders funds divided by number of equity shares. So already we have calculated equity shareholders funds in this particular formula. So what you have taken under that? We have taken equity share capital, reserves and surplus, and profit and loss account. So again we will consider those amounts. Equity share capital is 10 lakhs, reserves and surplus is 3 lakhs, and P&L account balance is 1 lakh. So 10 plus 3 plus 1, it is 14 lakhs. So I will take this formula here. Book value per share 14 lakhs means equity shareholders funds divided by number of equity shares are how many? 1 lakh, right? So how much you got? 14 rupees. The book value of the share is how much? 14 rupees. So higher the book value of the share, the more strong the business is. So the book value of the share should not be less than the paid up value of the share. Remember that. 11 ratios we have calculated. So return on capital employed ratio will tell us how much of capital is totally invested in the business and what is the return on the total capital employed. And return on net worth will show on the shareholders funds only, not on the long term debts. So on the shareholders funds, what is the return that is earned? And coming to the third one, this will show only return on equity shareholders funds. And coming to the fourth one, return on assets. So what is the value of our total assets in the business? When we are using that assets, how much of returns we can get on that investment on assets, that is return on assets. Next, earnings per share. Higher these percentages, the more beneficial to the investors. And coming to the earnings per share, what is the earning we have made on our each share is our earnings per share. And based on the earnings, the company will not give dividend. The company will decide how much of dividend is to be given to the equity shareholder based on their retained earnings additions. So here we have come to know what is the earnings per share value, and in this formula we calculated dividend per share. And next, dividend payout ratio. What is dividend payout ratio? Out of the total earnings that are available, means here based on the EPS, how much of dividend the company is paying. So in this formula we have calculated and we have come to know that the company pays 75% of the earnings to their equity shareholders as dividends. 25% they kept as retained earnings. Now coming to the price earnings ratio. So in this price earnings ratio, we can see the relation between earnings per share and market price of equity share. And next, I've explained about this earnings yield ratio and dividend yield ratio and book value of the share already, right? So this is about today's topic. The higher is the ratio, the business is that much strong. In this class, I have explained about overall profitability ratios. So with this, I have completed. I have explained all those ratios in detail, and we have also done problems using all the ratios. What are the ratios that we have covered till now? Liquidity ratios, that means short-term solvency ratios. Next, leverage ratios, means long-term solvency ratios. And next, turnover ratios, means what? Activity ratios. Next, in the previous video and in the present video, what I have covered? Profitability ratios. So in the profitability ratios, we have general profitability ratios that I have covered in the previous video. In today's video, I have covered overall profitability ratios. So with this, I have completed all ratios and explanation and problems based on these ratios. So in the next class, I will show you how to apply all these formulas in one problem. Till now, I have showed uh, equity ratios and related problem, leverage ratios related problem. But in the next problem, I will show you all those ratios, means equity ratios, leverage ratios, turnover ratios, and profitability ratios in only one problem. So that is our coming video. So that's all for today. But learning never stops. So if you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And please share to those students who are having these subjects. Whether you are a student or an employee in any organization, or you are owning your own business also, we should know about ratio analysis, because this will give us correct picture about our business, so that if you know these ratios, we can interpret our business very easily. I'm also making videos in cost accounting, business economics, financial accounting, and investment management. So please watch those videos also. Keep learning, keep growing. Thanks for watching. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.